Every single month, I'm going to be doing a free robot session with you online, teaching you how to better use your Pong robot, teaching you what models are available, how to use it, and how to convert what you're learning, what you're practicing with robot training to actual match play. So every month I'm going to be doing a free session. So your free session for today involves not only understanding the basic drills, but understanding how you should be using those, and more importantly, understanding the mindset. Because I see hundreds of people around the world that are using Pong robots. Oftentimes they're using the exact right drills that they should be doing, but their approach is wrong. And actually, this is one of the main things that hinders them, is their mindset is different in match play versus robot play, and robot play versus match play. So, but before we begin, I just want to start by answering one main question that people oftentimes ask, and that is, what is the capabilities of the Pong robot? Really, what can it do? And really, can it actually simulate a game? And the answer is yes. All the models, from the alpha to the beta to the delta, all the way up to the omega, they can combine different spins. So you can get a short backspin serve, a heavy backspin push, a deep topspin ball, 5 other topspin balls, and then a lob. So you can sequence game sequences, lots of different types of balls together with all the models. What's the difference? Well, the Omega, which is the top of the line robot, it can produce the strongest spin as well as has the app. So basically with the app, you get free updates, you get free drills, you can customize your own drills. The Delta also gives similar capabilities, but it's analog as opposed to with the app. And then the lower models, they can also sequence the spins together, just don't have quite as many pre-saved drills, and the amount of spin isn't quite as strong. So the other thing that I want to mention here right before I begin is kind of the mindset. Somebody asked me one time, a couple years ago, they said, you know, Samson, every coach has their thing. Like, what's your thing? Like, you probably have a thing that you're like most passionate about as a coach. I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, you know, every coach has a thing. This coach is always talking about footwork. No matter how they missed, whether it be they missed a serve, or they missed a block, or they missed a smash, it's related to your footwork. Another coach will have the thing of mental game. If only your mental game was stronger, you wouldn't be missing these shots. Another coach might have the thing as far as spin or placement. If only your placement was better, that guy wouldn't be able to block back 8 shots. So they said basically every coach has a thing. What's your thing? And initially when they asked me that, I said, I don't really have a thing. But actually, I do have a thing. And here's my thing. Are you ready for it? My main thing as a coach is I want match quality, match mindset, match everything, regardless of what you're doing. So let's say, for example, I'm doing forehand warm-up with the robot. Forehand, forehand, forehand. My feet still need to be activated. I still need to be able to make small movements. I still need to guard my backhand and my middle. I still need to be alert. I still need to have the same quality of hit, placement of hit, mindset, and everything exactly what I would in a game. And if it truly is, then when I get to a game, what do I have to do? Just relax and say, I play like I practiced. So a lot of players have this disconnect, not only playing with each other, but also playing with the robot, is they think that they can go through and get tunnel vision on one ball, practicing this one ball, again, and then somehow, after 2 hours of that, go to the league and play in the league, and somehow they're gonna have that convert over to wins here. It doesn't work like that, okay? Your mind doesn't work like that. Your body doesn't work like that. What you need is you need to throw out all the drills. Just take all your drills, put it in a trash can, and go take it to the dump. Forget all the drills. And in your mind, you need to do match preparation situations. Match preparation situations. So Samson, are you saying I shouldn't do one backhand, one forehand? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying instead of calling that a drill, call that a match preparation situation, where you're still guarding the whole table. You're still adjustable. You're still hitting the same quality that you would in a game. You're still targeting different spots. You're still trying to go one a little bit slower, one a little bit wider, one a little bit faster. If you have this approach, hour for hour, you're gonna get way more out of your robot training. All right, so I know you guys want me to show you some drills. I want me to give you some tips actually on the table, so we're gonna dive into it. So first, I'm gonna bring you over to the app, and I'm gonna show you a few things on the app here. All right. So here's the app, and we're gonna select drill number 1. See, it says drill number 1, top spin to forehand. You see that green dot? So all I have to do is hit that picture of the table there, and as you can see, I have one ball right there. All I have to do is hit start drill, and I am good to go. That ball is firing directly right to my forehand. Okay? Now, one thing that I said is important is to have kind of a game mindset. So BPM, balls per minute, 30 balls a minute is not kind of like a game unless I'm hitting extremely slow and the robot's shooting extremely slow. So let's crank it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to 70 balls a minute and see if that feels like a game. It's like I said, our main goal is to really be able to simulate a game. Let's try it. Okay, so it's gonna give me some topspin balls in my forehand. Okay, so did that simulate a game? So the main thing that I want is for you to understand the timing of the ball. So when I hit the ball and it hits the robot's side and it hits just about to hit the net, that next ball should be firing. So people ask me all the time, like, what is game speed? Is it 60 balls a minute? Is it 70 balls a minute? Is it 80 balls a minute? Well, it depends on how far I am from the table. It depends how fast I hit. Let's say, for example, I'm playing from way back here, okay? And I hit from here, bang, and the ball travels there, and then the next ball comes back. That's probably gonna be around 25 balls per minute. As I'm closer to the table and I'm hitting faster, guess what? That's gonna require a little bit faster time. Bang. So let's go ahead and set it. This is really important. Let's go ahead and set it for something a little bit faster. Let's do 85 balls a minute, and you tell me if this feels like game quality. Is that game speed, or is that a little bit too slow? As soon as my ball hits the other side, is the next one firing. Pretty close. A little bit off, but pretty close. Now what happens if I'm more of a recreational player and I hit extremely slow? Let's try 55 balls a minute. And let's see if that's more appropriate. See, as my ball is hitting the other side, that next one is coming. Now, a lot of people that send me videos of themselves playing, they're playing extremely fast. Very, very fast. And that's how they play in matches. So is that how they should practice? Absolutely. But some people that actually play slow speed it up in practice, and they say, well, I'm challenging myself. And I agree, and I disagree. I agree in the fact that it makes it faster, so it is challenging you, it's pushing you. But at the same time, is your stroke breaking down because you're stroking differently than you would in a game? So I would say sometimes maybe it's okay to practice a little bit faster, but for the most part, it should be match preparation situation. It shouldn't be like a crazy, crazy, crazy speed. Okay? The other extreme is even more common. The guy's taking a big swing. He's hitting super powerful, but he's playing at 20 balls a minute. So the ball comes, rip, and then there's a long wait, rip, and then there's a long wait, rip, and then a long wait. And then he says, why can't I use these shots in matches? Well, because when you hit the ball that fast and the guy's close to the table, the ricochet effect comes back extremely fast, so that you need to be able to recover quickly. If the guy's off the table, yeah, you have time, but if the guy's close to the table, you don't have time. So when I say match preparation situation, the first thing is similar ball quality and similar timing coming from the robot. The next thing that I want to talk about real briefly is ball placement. See, when you're playing with your Uncle Bill, maybe you don't want to go for really extreme placement because, you know, you're going to hit the ball off the side of the table and Uncle Bill's going to have to crawl under the furnace to, you know, go get the ball or whatever. So you really want to hit the ball on the table. But with the robot, it doesn't care how wide you go. So this is really a good opportunity for you to practice not only playing at game timing, but also hitting game location and even challenging yourself to hit a little bit wider or a little bit deeper than, you would in a game. What else can you do? Match preparation situation. You can work on changing speeds. So you can work on hitting one ball a little bit slower, one ball a little bit faster. What about one ball a little bit more spin, one ball a little bit less spin? What about one ball normal and then one ball with just a little bit of side spin? So again, these are some things that you implement in games. These have got to be some things that you practice with the robot. Where's the disconnect come in? When your mindset is different playing with the robot than it is in match play. Okay, let's jump into the next drill. So we just did drill number 1, which is top spin to the forehand. Let's jump into drill number 2. So drill number 2, go here, and it's top spin to the backhand. Now, one of the biggest requests for people is, how can I make adjustments in those drills? So you see drill number 2, we got one ball and it's going right there, okay? But for some reason, I'm having a hard time hitting that ball to the middle. So I need to warm up that one a little bit more to the middle, so you just drag it there. You say, you know, that ball is a good trajectory. It's at 91, but I want it to be a little bit higher. I'm gonna just turn it up a little bit higher, and I'm gonna put it to 94 for trajectory. You know, that ball has pretty good speed, but I want it to be just a little bit slower. So instead of 14, I'm gonna tweak it, and I'm gonna put it down to 13, okay? Then I just hit sample, make sure that's the ball that I want. Excellent, that's exactly what I want. Hit the X, and then just hit start drill. Oops, there we go, start drill. And now I can do my backhand warm-up. Now, one of the main things that I've done for my students is told them, if we're really gonna do match preparation situations, it's okay to do backhand warm-up, it's okay to do forehand warm-up, it's okay to do systematic drills, but really, if we can do more of a cluster, that's gonna enhance your concentration to be able to move in and out and side to side. So for most of my online students, I just tell them, just click that, and then just hit clone a few times. We're gonna clone a few balls. See, we've got a cluster of 5 balls. Just take each ball and drag it to a little bit different location. And now we're dealing with a cluster of balls as opposed to all the balls in one spot. I'm gonna show you kind of what that looks like. All right, here we go. So we're gonna do our backhand warm-up, but we're gonna do a cluster of balls. And so I want you to notice when I show you the table that the balls are not hitting the exact same spot on the table. They're gonna hit different locations on the table. And so it's gonna make you more adjustable. Check this out, watch it. Okay, so the balls are hitting different locations. I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit so you can see it. I'm gonna slow it down to 40 balls per minute. And I want you to look at this placement variation. This is gonna make you way more adjustable. One ball there, 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 one ball there. So I want you to ask yourself the question. Let's say, for example, you locked yourself in the basement for a whole month, practice with the robot, and you had every ball going pinpoint to one location, and you did this, bong, 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 for 3 hours a day. You did that for 3 hours a day. Or you set it for a cluster of balls. One ball here, 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 one ball here. And every single time, your mind was active, your hand was active, your body was active, your feet were active, and you adjusted, and adjusted, and adjusted, and adjusted, and adjusted. After a day, a week, a month, whatever of that, do you think you're gonna be better? Or getting tunnel vision, doing this, saying something's gonna happen, which one do you think is gonna be better? Of course, the one with the cluster. And that's really what we need, is you're not gonna lock yourself in your basement for a month and just practice with the robot. Maybe you're gonna supplement your match play at the academy, or at this club, or match play with the other neighbors or whatever. You're gonna supplement your practice with robot practice. And if hour for hour, minute for minute, you're enhancing your concentration, you're more adjustable, what's gonna happen? One for one, it's gonna help you way more in match play. So watch when I do this backhand warm-up, watch how it challenges me to continue to adjust. So just for your sake, I'm gonna do it ultra slow, but if I was actually practicing with this in an actual practice session, I'd have to do it much faster than this. Okay, so check it out. All right, move to here, 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 move. So again, just so you can see as far as where the balls were going, I did this one quite slow, but you'd want to do this one more at game speed. The main thing with robot training, in addition to being able to challenge yourself and really have a game mindset, the other thing with robot training is really being able to track your progress. Think about it. If there was no rating system, you didn't know if you're getting better or worse, or if you were in school and there was no grades and you didn't know if you were learning or how well you were doing, it wouldn't be that encouraging to you. But almost everything in life, we can track our progress. Let's say, for example, you as a runner or you as a weightlifter, can you tell if you're running faster or not? As a weightlifter, can you tell if you're lifting heavier weights or not? For sure. So these kind of barometers or benchmarks actually encourage you in your performance. Same thing for the robot. Let's say, for example, you did that drill. You set up a cluster of balls on the backhand side. You moved and adjusted and hit different balls from the backhand side. And out of 100 balls, you were able to land 50 out of 100 today. Tomorrow you landed 70. Maybe the next day you also landed 70. Maybe the next day you landed 75. Maybe the next day 76, maybe by the next week, you're able to get 95 out of 100. At that point, when you're at 95 out of 100, you can tell, man, I really made progress. What does that do? It encourages you because you can see the progress, but also it tells you, hey, now is the time to step it up and go a little bit wider, a little bit more variation, a little bit more of this or that. See, the challenge that I face is I've given around 700 online lessons, and out of these 700 lessons, the challenge is that people aren't getting feedback. You need to get feedback. That's why you need to be able to, actually count to see how many you're making. How accurate are you? How adjustable are you? I've done many lessons before, and I said, how was your footwork on that drill? They said, yeah, my footwork was pretty good. And I said, so how was your accuracy? They're like, yeah, I feel like I was pretty accurate. But I was actually counting when I was watching their video, and out of 100 balls, they only landed about 60 out of 100. They missed 40, but they didn't get that feedback from the robot because they weren't actually counting to see how accurate they were. So since they weren't able to actually see how accurate they were, they thought they were doing good, but they were actually missing a high percentage of balls. So I said, okay, go ahead, count. And then when they started counting, they're like, man, I guess I'm not as good as I thought I was. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't telling you that to be hard on yourself. I wasn't telling you that to be like mean and be down in the dumps or whatever. I'm telling you that because unless you're counting, you don't necessarily know how good you're doing. And it's the same for a game. If you're playing against Uncle Bob in a game, and Uncle Bob wins the first game 11-1, and he's up 9-0 in the second, you have the awareness of, shoot, I'm not doing that good. I need to make some tactical changes here. I get back home and I say, man, I'm gonna have to keep practicing because I didn't do that well in the game, right? So being aware that you're not doing well, or being aware that you're losing, or being aware that you're not as consistent or adjustable as you should be, is actually a good thing. Why? Because it helps you to be able to focus on the necessary details that you need to do to get to that level, okay? So while you're doing this one, I want you to set it for a specified amount of time or specified amount of balls, and I want you to actually count how accurate you are. Based on how you do, then you make adjustments. Adjustments in your technique, your footwork, your timing, but also adjustments in the difficulty of the drill. So anytime that you're in that 90 to 95% range, feel free to go a little bit faster. Feel free to give a little bit more variation. Anytime you're in that 50, 60, 65% range, you should probably make it a little bit easier, make it a little bit slower, work to get really in position, hit like quality control shots, but stop trying to go for extremely wide angles if your percentage is really that low. Because again, we're training for match play. And if your mindset is different in practice than it is in match play, it's different in match play than it is in practice, hour for hour is not going to help. But actually, sometimes it does hurt you. Why does it hurt you? Because your practice is getting better. So you have this inward feeling like, I should be winning, I should be doing better. But in reality, you're doing the same. So when you get to that match and you're doing the same as before, but you felt that you should be doing better, then you have this feeling like, ugh, so disappointed. There's actually a proverb that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. So you got this really high hope, and that actually makes you feel like you're worse, right? So let me give you an example. You're an 1800 player, and you practiced at 1800 level, and you play match play at 1800 level, and you practice with your Power Pong robot for a year in the basement, and now your practice quality is up to 2000. But you get into that match play, and you're still playing 1800. What ends up happening? Because you feel like, I thought I'd play better. Next thing you know, you're playing 1700 or 1600. You're playing worse because you had these higher expectations for yourself. So how do you make sure that your practice matches your expectations and reality? And how do you make sure that your match play matches your expectations and reality? Well, you got to test yourself often. I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Talent Code. And basically what it does is it talks about the world's most successful athletes, musicians, scholars, and it basically says that these people have a deeper level of training, but they also have the ability to test themselves regularly. So the people that have the most success with robot training are the people that play matches regularly. They come back from the club and they get back to their basement that night and they practice those things that went right or went wrong because they're training with knowledge. They go back to the club the next day or the next week, they play league matches, they play open play matches, they play tournament matches, and all that knowledge they come back and they play with the robot. Those are the people that actually play better. The people that don't play better, or the people that play worse, are the ones that say, I'm gonna forget about playing with people, I'm gonna forget about doing drills, I'm just gonna not play tournaments for the entire year, I'm not gonna do anything. The only thing I'm gonna do is lock myself in the basement, play with the robot, and then I'm gonna break out and I'm just gonna destroy everybody. No, because you're not training with knowledge. You need to train with knowledge. And knowledge comes from being able to do more match play, more league play, more tournament play, because you understand clearly what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. All right, enough of me talking. Let's get back to the drills. We are gonna be jumping into drill number 3. Now, one of the most important skills that you need to be able to have is the ability to adjust the drills according to your needs, okay? So, as you can see here, we are on drill number 3. Okay? So drill number 3 is 1 ball to the forehand and then 1 ball to the backhand. 1 ball to the forehand, 1 ball to the backhand, and you say, hey, you know what? Maybe physically I'm not doing that good. Maybe I'm a senior, maybe I just had hip surgery or whatever, so instead of going quite that wide, I'm gonna make it a little bit more narrow. I'm gonna customize it for me. So just make it a little bit more narrow. You say, you know what? I'm really doing good with my forehand. I need to link backhand and forehand together, but I'd like to hit more often backhand than forehand. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna clone that. So we've got first ball right there, and then second, third, and fourth ball right there. So you're gonna hit 1 forehand, you're gonna hit 3 backhands. You might say, you know, I like those backhand balls being like that, but I'd really like to add a little bit more power. I wanna simulate a little bit of a pop-up ball to my forehand. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click ball number 1. I'm gonna raise the trajectory a little bit. I might even add a little bit of side spin to it. A little bit of side spin. And I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit. And I'm gonna sample each ball. I'm gonna hit the save button. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna start with it fairly slow, like around, let's do 30 balls a minute. And I'm gonna start the drill. So this is really, really important, as there's 45 drills on the Power Pong Omega. But it's very important not just to be able to play with the drills that there are here, but to also be able to customize the drills to meet your needs. Okay, let's jump into drill number 4. Drill number 4 is a topspin ball to the forehand and then a topspin ball to the middle. Now this is one of the most foundational drills, playing forehand there, forehand there, forehand there, forehand there, forehand there, forehand there. Now, a lot of times people say, hey, I want to get fit using Power Pong robots. That's good, do that one. Set it for an actual duration. So what you want to do is click here. Oops. Duration. Then, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out why it's not working, but typically what you'll do is you'll click that, that number on, another box will pop up, and you can set it for an exact time that you want. So right now it's set for 30 seconds, and then after 30 seconds it will turn off, and you can set the break as well for whatever break you want. Right now it's set for 10 seconds. So what you wanna do is set it for, like, let's say for 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. 2 minutes on, there's our duration. All right, let's go ahead and set it for 2 minutes. Confirm. And then we'll set it for 1 minute off. 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. That's extremely high intensity to be able to do 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. If you're a senior, I'd recommend maybe 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. Also, the time between drills is quite important as well. So make sure that when you do the drills, that you don't just sit there sipping your water for 2 minutes. I would say take a 30-second water break and then do 20 serves. Do a 2-minute drill, take a 20-second water break, and then do 20 serves. That's a little bit more time efficient. And people ask me all the time, like, how can I use my robot time to the best of my ability? Doing serve practice between the sessions, between the sets, is pretty good. Most people do serve practice when they're fresh. They go downstairs on a Saturday morning, whip out 100 serves. It's not bad, but really in the heat of the moment, you need to be able to serve when you're tired. When your arm is shaking a little bit, when your palm is sweaty, that's when you need to be able to serve. So being able to mix serve practice with robot sessions, this is quite important as well. So I'm just gonna recap on today's session and then talk a little bit about next month's session for what we're gonna be talking about. The first thing that I really wanna recap before I leave today, the first thing I wanna recap on is the fact that the most important thing is that you have the same mindset for practice and the same mindset for practice as match play. If you do, hour for hour, you're gonna get getting more, and you can just trust your skills, just trust your ability to play like normal. The second thing is that you need to be able to imagine an opponent over there. Imagine an opponent and set up the drills accordingly so that you have game timing, that the ball is coming over and then you're hitting it back. The ball's coming over, hitting it back, and as your ball hits that net, that next ball is firing. As you also picture an opponent on the other side, this will affect the way you hit the ball, the spin variation you give, the placement variation you give, the body's response to be able to hit and get back and get ready for the next one. The next thing I need to mention is that all the Power Pong robots can do some extremely complicated game-like drills, which I'm going to show you in previous months, but you don't necessarily have to do the difficult drills. Sometimes you can simulate something easier, repeat that again and again, but still at the same time, have the mindset that you're guarding the whole table. Even if you're just doing forehand warm-up or backhand warm-up or backhand middle or forehand backhand, wherever it may be, have the mindset to guard the whole table and to really be ready. The other thing I need to mention is that you need to start doing clusters of balls. Instead of having that ball hit the same spot on the table every single time, just clone the ball and drag it to another location, clone the ball and drag it to another location. This is another way of not just enhancing your mind, but making sure that your body really is adjustable because the ball is coming to different locations, okay? So even if it was a systematic drill, like one backhand, one forehand, you could do backhand, forehand, and then you could do another ball, backhand, forehand, and then another ball, backhand, forehand. So that way, it's not always in the exact same spot every time. As far as what we're going to be working on in the future, we're going to be working through basically all the drills. We're going to be working through how to loop different types of backspin balls, whether it be a heavy backspin ball or a lighter backspin ball, how to be able to manage no spin balls, how to be able to deal with side spin balls, how to be able to understand the body positioning difference when you're transitioning from loop against backspin to loop against topspin. We're also going to be working on how to create your own drills just from scratch. We're going to be working on how to easily text and email drills to your friends, coach, practice partner. We're also going to be working through how to use the different robots. So the Omega is the easiest to use. It's also the most expensive, but like I said, the other models too are quite good as far as the Alpha, the Delta, the Beta. All these models are really good. They can all do backspin, topspin combinations. You can always get different spin combinations. And in future months, during the next year, we're going to be working through each of the different robots and kind of highlighting each of the main points for that. I'm Samson Dubina. Thanks for watching today. If you would like any more information about Power Pong robots, feel free to shoot me an email. My email is tt@samsondubina.com. My website is samsondubina.com. I'd love to answer your robot questions, not only to get you a quality robot in your basement, but to also make sure that you're using it to your fullest potential, because I want to see you make progress this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.